Perry Duckles, Liz Buckley of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been an innocent man in Monroe County Jail in Rochester, New York, Livingston County Jail in Genesee, New York, 6 times. 6 times a prosecutor did not exercise a First Amendment right in court to detail, describe a crime by me. Because that's an impossible argument to make. Who is it? Perry Duckles and Elizabeth Buckley of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Who is it? $140,000 public defender Julie Sianka. I'm not contacting you 3 freaks for information you don't have. Just like when I send District Attorney Sandra Doorley documents that I'm going to hold up via UPS, Federal Express, and registered mail return receipt through the United States Postal Service, I'm not contacting the party switching freak district attorney for information she doesn't have. This is the Freedom of Information Law dated today, November 2nd, 2024. Again, this is information you have. Perry Duckles, Elizabeth Buckley, the District Attorney's Office, Public Defender Julie Sianka. Corruption requires repetition. So when I repeat myself, I'm talking directly to corruption and requires law. This law was passed in 1978 by my former employers, the New York State Assembly and the New York State Senate, to empower ordinary citizens with the freedom to acquire information that you have. November 2nd, 2024, there's my signature right there, Christopher Chichester. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with John P. Muzzle Jr. Packard Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This is the payroll for the District Attorney's Office. The freaking sociopath is still there, is right here. Who is it? It's the first name, Nancy A. Sabetta, $50,607.66. When I contact Thomas B. Gnapoli, State Control, I'm going to talk about these bizarre salaries where public employees are paid in cents. So, Freedom of Information Law, November 2nd, 2024, for this $28,000 bald-headed widow. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester, Paul C. Metzler, Packard Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The payroll for the District Attorney's Office. Who is it? Perry Duckles, Elizabeth Buckley, the District Attorney's Office, Public Defender Julie Sianka. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You're in Jonestown. That's what's wrong with you. Freedom of Information Law. I passed my former employers. The New York State Senate and New York Assembly in 1978 to empower ordinary citizens to acquire information that you have. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester v. Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Payroll for the District Attorney's Office. So on it here, you have your 6-figure employees here. Monica O'Brien, $92,089.47. She's the deputy director of the local courts. But here's Perry Duckles for $113,918.94 because you really need that 94 cents, Perry Duckles, to pay a mortgage. Who is it? 6-figure Perry Duckles. And down here is Elizabeth D. Buckley, SUNY Albany graduate. I went to graduate school, SUNY Albany, Elizabeth Buckley. So, or Albany Law School graduates, one or the other for you. $104,474.88 because Elizabeth Buckley needs that 88 cents. Do you have some kind of civil service pay scale that's linked to these salaries? Because everybody here is paid in cents. Rachel A. Clark, $94,229.25, the last name of the payroll. The heroic Rachel Clark. Rachel Clark prosecuted Adrian Riley and Xavier Perry for setting Stephen Amenhauser on fire on Lyle Avenue. And this is what a district attorney's office should be doing. This is what an assistant district attorney should be doing. What an assistant district attorney should not be doing is standing there in a courtroom in idiot fucking silence and watching an innocent citizen delivered to jail. Do you agree with that, Rachel Clark? So, have you ever stood in open court, Rachel Clark, and not talked as the defendant is delivered to jail? I'm not impugn or impeach the character of someone I don't know, especially somebody like Rachel Clark. I don't know. And what I also now know is that people in life can exhibit virtue and goodness and decency, and then also be sick, disgusting train wrecks. So, which is my ex-girlfriend. So anyway, who is it? The Appellate Division of State Supreme Court is when attorneys disbarred, and I will eventually acquire these names. So the fact that you refuse allows me to come here and exercise my First Amendment right in 5 minutes on this YouTube product from Google and tell you that you freaks, psychopaths, and sociopaths. So, who is it? It's the payroll for the sheriff's office. Want to contact Controller Thomas DiNapoli, Todd Thurston, Scott Alberti, Kathleen Mill, William Tadeo. This is going to jump out at him the first page because Todd Baxter paid $132,000. On his first page of the payroll, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 employees paid $100,000 more. These are cops. I don't care if it's the sheriff's office. The arrogance of this Monroe County Sheriff's Office, they look down their nose at the Rochester Police Department. Oh, this is just merely a police department, and we're the exalted elite sheriff's office. These are just cops. That's all they are. 6 figures. Who are Andrew M. Soike, 118,678 and 16 cents. Kevin F. Shuffle, 116,350 98 cents. Corey K. Brown, $155,366.64 cents. Corey Brown is paid $23,000 more than the duly elected Sheriff Todd Baxter. Paul V. Chiminelli, $121,987.84 cents. Kim A. Hinckley, $121,987.84 cents. Philip Gambaro, $119,232.51 cents. Sean D. DeClaire, $118,678.16 cents. Peter J. Zambullo, $118,678.04. This is the highest paid employee at the sheriff's office, who is paid $31,000 more than Sheriff Todd Baxter, because Sheriff Todd Baxter decided to pay Michael T. Fowler $31,000 more than him. $163,877.48 cents. Jeffrey C. Wagner is paid $13,000 more than the duly elected Sheriff Todd Baxter. $145,906.80. Frederick S. Bancroft III, $128,590.80. And it goes on from there. There are other 6-figure cops on here too. Sick disgrace. This freak sheriff. Payroll for the sheriff's office, district attorney's office. How many of these employees, when they work beyond the 40th hour, achieve the 41st hour, receive what's commonly called overtime, time and a half? I've been demanding that for 4 years. Again, when I contact State Controller Thomas DiNapoli, I'm going to write the same language again about overtime and time and a half. I have not contacted him yet, but when I do, I will send him the previous copies of demanding overtime, time and a half. And I'm going to request of State Controller Thomas DiNapoli that Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley be audited. Do you know why? Because there are definitely illegal and unethical things going on with money. Pardon me. There are unethical things going on with money. I do not know if there are illegal things going on with money. Unethical because he's got his employees, the sheriff's office, paid more money than him. District Attorney Sandra Doorley is refusing to disclose to me overtime and time and a half. Sandra Doorley's paid $210,000. Can you Perry Duckles here at your salary of $113,918.94, you paid more money than Sandra Doorley during overtime? The heroic Rachel Clark at $94,229. When you had that trial for Xavier Perry and Adrian Riley, if you listen to me, I'll never know who listens to me. Rachel Clark at 9 minutes, if you listen to me. He didn't work the standard 40-hour work week. That's just a guess. Because there's preparation for a trial like that, given its magnitude and gravity and horrific destruction of innocence. So, Rachel Clark, you know the answer. If you were paid overtime and if you can go from $94,229.25 to $200,000, and Rachel Clark would deserve every penny. I'm not saying that overtime, time and a half happens and that's disgraceful and what the fuck is going on with that. I'm not saying anything like that. It should be accounted for. Back to my employment in Albany from 1990 to 1998. There's no overtime for an Assembly or Senate staffer, just like when I was employed by the United States House of Representatives, the United States Senate, there's no overtime. Your salary is a salary. And staff would talk about this. And the reason why is elected officials don't want the albatross or liability or the potential political problem of staffers doubling their salaries or being paid $40,000, $50,000 more than their base salary, which Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley are not concerned about because they're fleecing taxpayers and because they're unethical. That's why. So, who is it? You know who it is. Elizabeth Buckley, Perry Office. This is a $140,000 public defender hack. So, November 2nd, 2024. I just read before. Do you not understand the English language? Employees of District Attorney's Office? I'm not trying to be facetious. Do you not understand what I just read? The English language right here. November 2nd, 2024. Who is it? Who is it is right here again. And November 2nd, 2023. This is attached to PDF chains. Here's all your emails here. Perry Elkins, Liv Bucky, Judy Sianka are all on here. This is ChichesterChristopher76@gmail.com. I never use the same Gmail twice because I believe I cannot be blocked. Chains. Attached to PDF are 27 freedom of information Word documents dated November 2nd, 2023 that forces you to disclose information to me. This information includes names of my prosecutor's files, mail names of my prosecutor's the address, the full language on the file, the 3 files that I just read. I've communicated with YouTube party switching freaks on these YouTube links. Every YouTube link here, I've demanded my prosecutor's files. Sham on Sheriff Todd Baxter, Secretary. Sham is here. This is October 31st. A year ago. On this link here, November 2nd, 2023, put it again here. I got the 4 criminal complaints I read. It's Todd Baxter blows off the law. If by some miracle, these 5 individuals in the 5 total criminal complaints that I wrote are arrested, Sandra Doorley's not going to prosecute them. She'll dismiss the charges because she's a corrupt freak. Names of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. I use that simple word names. I'm telling her to tell me who it is. I'm telling her to tell me who violated my civil and constitutional rights, or where I've never heard Miranda. So, broken glasses, 75904 Richard Seaton, Monroe County Sheriff's Office. For 18 minutes, I'm on here about that psychopath. He should be fucked in the ass at Attica State Prison, Richard Seaton, for the way he violently attacked me and slamming his arm into my head. I fall down my head, hits the ceramic tile floor, and he kicked me. So I think there were 3 crimes here. It's the force of Richard J. Seaton's arm hitting me in the head. It's my head hitting the tile, and then being kicked when I'm on the floor. The district attorney's office and an assistant district attorney with ethics will be able to evaluate that. So there's the YouTube link on the second page of Seaton attacking me. And then I say here, in July, you received 5 criminal complaints notarized by Christopher Price, the Rochester Public Library, attached to PDF. Arrest and prosecute the criminals named in my complaint. 75904 Richard J. Seaton, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. 73312 Michael Whelan, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Laura Riley, Webster, New York. Antonio Spano, Webster, New York. Larry Kumar, Shot, Penn, New York. Nayraj, Shot, Penn, New York. Resign. I've explained over and over and over why these people are criminals. Michael Houlihan is $73,000 perjurer freak and $85,000 Don Benedetto hit on the private property of my neighbor across from where I live, 26 cents from driving Penfield. I exit my residence at midnight. Houlihan and Benedetto come running at me. I run up my back porch. I grab a hammer alongside the back porch. Houlihan grabs my arm. The hammer goes up. I run through the sliding glass door. I never stop running. Since I never stopped running, I cannot swing a hammer, directed grand jury Michelle Crowley, at lying cop freak perjurer Michael Houlihan, who had to be investigated by the state attorney general. I would have said all this to the grand jury. This is on the body camera, too, that Regina Harper, the public defender, showed me. Did you see the body camera, Michelle Crowley, directed the grand jury? Why don't you call me to the grand jury, directed the grand jury Michelle Crowley? Do you know what I'm talking about, directed the grand jury Michelle Crowley? I ran the whole time. Houlihan went back to the sheriff's office and the district attorney's office. Now he knows he has to lie and say I swung a hammer when it's impossible. And since I have been a runner since I'm 12 years old, it's extremely easy to outrun overweight cops in the middle of the night in the 30-second period. If when you swing a hammer at Michael Houlihan, you disgusting freak, directed the grand jury Michelle Crowley, I would have to stop and pivot and swing it, and they would have ran into me. I would have said this again, corruption requires repetition, to the grand jury. And then I'm tracked over to Wegmans and violently attacked and slammed down onto the pavement by a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee, because there were 5 vehicles and 10 employees that watched this. And I'm driven out of Monroe County to Livingston County Jail. I'm brought back to Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court, this $210,000 fossil, who subsequently tells me there's no such thing as attempted felony assault. It's either assault or it's not assault. I do not know if the exalted one is correct or not, but I'm going to find out. But you employees of the District Attorney's Office, Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley, Lisa Gray to counsel, all know. What's the answer? Is attempted felony assault not in the law of the state of New York or not? Because the word attempted is a landmine of vagueness. You, Elizabeth Buckley, can attempt to assault Perry Duckles right there in the... Tell me who it is. Who is it? Do I have a second? Tell me who it is. Freaks and sociopaths and fanatics, where you're infected in your brains with some kind of malignancy. It's right here, the payroll for the District Attorney's Office. So, when I say it's right here, the name is right here. On my 50th birthday, July 4, 2015, I have a speeding ticket in my place of employment on Central Avenue in Albany, New York. I'm nailed for going 5 miles an hour and over. This is the first time I'm going to be in a court, which is at Albany City Hall right in front of the New York State Capitol where I worked. I called a friend of mine. I said, this idiot Barney Fife stooge cop on Central Avenue was putting the screws to me because I was going to the Capitol OTB Tel Theater to see Mike Tyson fight. And I went to court and it was dismissed. This is almost 30 years ago. And then on the Beltway, what's the Beltway? You super libraries don't even know what I'm talking about when I just say it in general. But if I say the Beltway in Washington, D.C., you should be able to figure this one out. I got a speeding ticket on the Beltway. Again, I go to court, Washington, D.C., it's dismissed. Before I'm 50, 2 speeding tickets dismissed in court. After I'm 50, I've been in jail 6 times. You know why? Because it's corrupt psychopath cops, corrupt psychopath assistant district attorneys, and corrupt psychopath judges. $28,000 Paul C. Metzer in Pentown Court, psychopath. $34,000 John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Pentown Court, psychopath. $210,000 Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court, psychopath. You know why? They don't know the facts and circumstances of any charge. They're just there to declare me guilty. And guess what? Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Judy Sianka, employees of the Sheriff's Office. This is the district attorney whose name I'm betting doesn't know either. The facts and circumstances of anything. Christopher, you walked outside and you told a man on a tractor next to where you live in Penfield, New York, that nobody owns the land next to your residence, which in fact that's true because you researched it. And Christopher, you're charged with a crime that's criminal contempt second just for telling a man on a tractor nobody owns the land next to your residence. You're outside for 30 seconds, you walk back in your residence. Christopher, I don't know how telling a man on his tractor that nobody owns the land next to your residence, walk back in your residence is a crime. And this Shannon Meyer, I think you said her name is, the police officer with the sheriff's office, and she's there at your residence with 6 other police officers, Christopher. And all you did is tell a man, again, Christopher, that nobody owns the land next to your residence, walk back in your residence. Dad and I don't understand that, Christopher. Even though you've told us now repeatedly, we were talking about that again at the kitchen table. Christopher, you were talking about this harassment second that you're charged with. You were in jail in Monroe County where you live, and your mother and I don't understand how you sit on a bench press and this psychopath, Jermaine Bettman, as you called him, Christopher, comes up to you and tells you to get off the machine. You tell him you'll be 30 seconds. He stands over you and he punches you in the face. And as you said, Christopher, you can now take a punch. And then this $79,000 employee, because you have a payroll and you told us the salary, called Andrew Reale arrives, and he wants us to go away. And Andrew Reale says, oh, we have to go to court right now. And then you know he's bullshitting you, Christopher. And you say to Andrew Reale, well, let's go to court right now, Andrew, because you know him. And you go out to the car, and then Andrew Reale is going to put the screws to you because he's in a rage, because he just wants his violent crime to go away. And you sit in the backseat of the vehicle. Andrew Reale tells Jermaine Bettman what to say to you. He marches Jermaine Bettman around to the side of the vehicle. And then Jermaine Lamar Bettman says to you, Christopher, I want to press charges against you. And with those 7 words, you, Christopher, charge her after second. Now, this is called exaggeration, hyperbole. My mother and father don't use my full name. I'm always Chris. And when they're using my full name in these agonizing conversations, where I have to tell them about $67,000 Shannon Meyer and $79,000 Andrew Alley, putting screws to me with these disgusting, sick, freak show concoctions of criminal attempt second harassment second, I am as motivated as I possibly can be in life. Todd Baxter hasn't fired either. Andrew Alley, who I can talk to in a decent way, and what he doesn't know, the whole time I despise him. I now know how to talk to somebody where they have no idea you despise and test him, which is what I do with him. And then I'm contacting Penfield Town Court. I'm demanding a list of defendants and other information, such as the documentation for Dan DeLaus III's accused child rapist. And Andrew Alley left a voicemail on my iPhone telling me not to call the court. So here is this cop freak Andrew Alley charging me with harassment second, sitting in the backseat of his vehicle. And then when I exercise my First Amendment right, demanding information from this court that has violated my civil and constitutional rights, he's interfering with my First Amendment right to acquire information by telling me not to call the court, when the entire repulsive, sick existence of Penfield Town Court is taxpayer dollars. Do you understand what I'm talking about in 21 minutes? You bald-headed freak show Todd Baxter by Andrew Alley or not? So, Richard J. Seaman, again, why violence doesn't matter. When I was arrested for double jeopardy in Penfield Road, I'm New York's 5-day double jeopardy inmate. Richard J. Seaman was standing right there. I used the most ferocious word right in front of him and the other 10 Monroe County Sheriff's Office in the English language, which is 4 letters and begins with a C. And that's what I call Richard J. Seaman, because it is. July 15, 2023. Todd Baxter, Sheriff 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14604. Your vile psychopath employees terminal. Seaman ran at me, slammed his arm beside our head. I fell backwards, my head hit the surrounding tile floor. This violence is irrelevant to you. You embrace violence because you felt psychopathic criminal will not be fired. When I write the criminal complaint that I details of assault by Seaman will not be arrested or prosecuted. Nothing will happen to your taxpayer subsidized sociopath that must undergo immediate mental health examination. He will attack other instances. Did you order Seaman to stalk me into the library when you informed about his disgusting predatory behavior? Did you have no knowledge about his fanaticism when you refused to answer his eye? Just with Chichester and my Park Avenue address, which I no longer have. That's a UPS box. This has arrived 100 times with Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter. It does not matter to Sandra Doorley or Todd Baxter, this violent freak cop attacked me. Because for Todd Baxter, the blue wall silence to protect Richard Seaman. And for Sandra Doorley, it's the embrace of the blue wall silence to protect Richard Seaman. The district attorney's office signs for the documentation that this has been in. And if Sandra Doorley had integrity and honor and decency, she would contact Todd Baxter about it. The district attorney's office would contact me about this language. It's one thing to have the language. I wrote the criminal complaint, which has arrived over and over and over. And here's Todd Baxter again, why he's a freak. I think I have 20 envelopes for him. Registered mail return receipt, you can see there. Sometimes the post office will put a white piece of paper or sticker above the name. You can't see it. So I'll pick this one out, X'd it out, it says refused right here. Todd Baxter refused. Sheriff of Monroe County is afraid to open his mail for me. I'm going to try to attach in PDF the envelope too. When I was demanding his payroll, he was refusing. So I have the financial disclosure from the dead flat broke district attorney. And what I'm demanding of him, since he's making car commercials, I think it was called Hot. Sheriff appeared in the car commercial. Sheriff Todd Baxter of Rochester, New York, is a car salesman. It is mind-blowing, the insane level of corruption and detachment from ethics that Todd Baxter has when he's making car commercials. Because the car dealer wants something from Todd Baxter. Todd Baxter's getting paid, and I demand to know what he was paid, because he's not doing it for free. The financial disclosure from Todd Baxter will show payment, but there is some delay in the reporting requirements. But I have no financial disclosure from Todd Baxter. When I contact State Control Thomas B. DiNapoli, I request of him that he ask Todd Baxter his financial disclosure. I do not know if Todd Baxter has never filed a financial disclosure. But if he has, it'll show the payment. Now, the financial disclosure of District Attorney Sandra Doorley is right here, which is bizarre, since she has been employed at the District Attorney's Office for 32 years since 1992. Here's her name here. There's the address. Nothing on here is official. This is what I say is bizarre. List any interest in excess of 1,000. It goes on that long paragraph. None. Name principal address to any business activity in excess of 1,000. None. Gifts in excess of 1,000. None. Reimbursements. None. So the first four there on that second page. Nature and amount of any income in excess of $1,000 for each source supporting individual for taxable year. It goes on with that legal language. None. List below type and market value of securities held by reporting agent from each issuing entity in excess of $1,000. This is the one I'm most interested in. District Attorney has no stocks, bonds at all. Now, one stock at all to report. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's illegal, unethical. People do odd things with their money. You spend your money any way you want. 32 years of employment, none. But at least I know it says none. I don't know anything about Todd Baxter. Identify each interest in a trust that goes on. List below the location, size, generation, acquisition date, estimate, market value, percentage ownership of any real property. This is bizarre. Her husband, Bill Loftus, live in a house in Webster, New York. Is that a rental property? The district attorney own a home and not declare it? Does the district attorney not have to declare real estate, which is a home, because her husband owns a home? I don't know. You do, employees of the district attorney's office. Do you understand that elected officials who exist with sleazy financial arrangements are liabilities at re-election? I'm not saying this is sleazy at all. I'm saying I don't know what this is. I'm saying this is bizarre. Goes on here, list below all liabilities of reporting individual in excess of $5,000 as of the date filing of the statement, and other liabilities to a relative. Liabilities to a relative. This is how detailed and precise these are. So here it is right here. Describe any interest, the last one. Describe any interest you, your spouse, or unemancipated children have in any contract involving the county, any municipality located in the county. This is July 28, 2022. This is more than 2 years ago. I want to see her new one because perhaps it's been updated and disclosed, but I don't know. But on here, nothing is disclosed. 32 years employment. There is her signature to the district attorney of Monroe County, essentially saying she has no money. I want to be precise. I'm not saying at all that this is unethical. I'm not saying that this is criminal. I'm saying I don't know what this is. So, I hope I'm clear again. Neeraj Shah and Linda Kumar Shah's, I'm on here 28 minutes. False reporting an incident, he has not been arrested, just mind-blowing on Todd Baxter ignores the law. 4,000 times I walked to his parking lot. I moved to this residence right here. You can see it. In 2012, my then girlfriend Laura, when she's hired at the Penfield Public Library, Laura and I moved from Webster to Penfield. Where I don't know that down the hall from the entrance that I would walk into to see her is Penfield Town Court. Because there's no reason for me to know anything about a court when I'm 47 years old in 2012. 2 speeding tickets, that's why. I do not know. Penfield Town Court is down the hall from the entrance of the Penfield Public Library, despite the fact my girlfriend I live with works at the library. So, we live here. This is the parking lot. This back here is where Dr. Gloria Nichols is. Dr. Gloria Nichols leaves. This is why my life's now changed. This is why I'm on here on YouTube. This is why I've been in jail 6 times, because of Neeraj Shah and Layla Kumar Shah, 2033 Penfield Road. I'm coming back to Gold's Gym and Fairport. Neeraj Shah's up here. This psychopath begins to scream at me in such a way, at first I thought it was an old woman. I turn around and have this vicious confrontation with him. He's still screaming. What he doesn't tell Shannon, my sheriff's office, when I gave him the finger and walked away and told him to fuck off, is that he provokes this by screaming at me. And this is restraint. There are guys in Brooklyn and Queens, where my mother and father from Long Island, that would have had him on the ground. So, Shannon Meyer tells Steve Devson of Brock Culver Tree and Lawn Care to ride his tractor by his residence here. Timothy Murphy, Monroe County Office of Real Property, can't confirm that this land has any ownership. I come outside, see nobody owns the land, and walk back around residence. Meyer runs into my backyard, crash lands on her face. There is Shannon Meyer in my backyard dirt in Penfield, New York, because I told the man on his tractor nobody owns the land next to my residence. This is why people hate the police, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Perry Uncles, Elizabeth Buckley, Mark Monahan, Michelle Crowley, District Attorney's Office, $140,000 public defender. Todd Baxter taking pictures of employees underwater in the pool. Back to Thomas B. Ginafili, Control State of New York. He says this is a private event. He's lying. This is on the website. I'm absolutely convinced that this is taxpayer dollars with these Monroe County Sheriff Office employees posing. It says Monroe County Sheriff, this park line just showed that we drive over to my house. This is a different day. What's he doing here? I look out the window. I'm getting ready to go for my usual run. Here's a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee. That's bizarre. For information on how many times I've demanded over and over, this is where I live, at 1 Pleasant Street in the loft next to the transit center. This is how many times I've used the foil. I've used the foil, put it on this little couch here. I think there could be 2,000 documents here. Later, Kumar Shah, Naylor Shah, the psychopath cop, should come to home and an innocent citizen to demand his dog. Talked about that relentlessly. I adopted my little guy as a Shih Tzu from Lollipop Farm Humane Society in 2012, when Laura and I were asked, my girlfriend I live with, had they been arrested, we said no. I will not be able to adopt another dog from Dog Adoption Society, either Monroe County or Albany County, because of what has happened to me, because he's concocted sick, disgusting criminal charges by freak cops. So, again, how Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley, you're going to ignore the law. Antonio Spano locked the doors on me, this 80-year-old man from Fairport, New York. I wrote the criminal complaint about a year ago, and I have the list now, everything I no longer have. My dress screens for 17 Cavalry, 101st Airborne Division are gone. My BA from the State University of New York, Stony Brook, is gone. My 1,000+ books are gone. My television set is gone. All my clothes are gone. Everything is gone because of two people without a court order, Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, and Laura Riley, Webster, New York. Two people decided I was going to have nothing, and I was going to sleep in Harris Whalen Park for 3 weeks. I was sleeping on that park on a baseball bench, and people were coming to the park at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They'd be right next to me. This man is placing my life at risk when I'm sleeping in that park after he locked me out, and there's people right next to me, and I don't know who it is because I'm sleeping. You know what justice is about? Employees of Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office. Do you Perry Uncles, Elizabeth Buckley, Mark Monahan, Michelle Crowley know what justice is about? Do you $140,000 public defender Julie Siaka know what justice is about? If you were asked. It's not platitudes. It's one thing, primarily. The driving force thing that describes justice in the United States of America is money. It's 20. If I had money, if I was comfortable, $10,000, $15,000 just to drop and use it however I want, I wouldn't have spent one goddamn day in jail. Because I would have had the resources with an attorney to keep you freaks and sociopaths and psychopaths, the district attorney's office, these corrupt judges away from me. And then I would have had the money when I'm languishing in jail, either Monroe County Jail, Rochester, New York, Livingston County Jail, where I'm not told the sentence. Every time I'm in jail, I'm not told when I'm getting out. I would have the money to have an attorney to demand when is he being released. Why are you holding him in jail? Justice is about money always. If I had money, I would be back in Albany, New York right now. My civil and constitutional rights would not have been violated because I wouldn't have been in jail. It doesn't matter to you freaks and sociopaths at all that the prosecutor has never talked in court and I've been in jail. And you freaks and sociopaths cannot comprehend the corruption of these three judges that are Paul C. Metzer and John P. Metzer Jr. in Pennsylvania Court and Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Because your brains are infected with fanaticism. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been an innocent man my whole